Well, we have a situation going on, and by now you probably know that Prismacolor has discontinued two of their most popular colors and two colors that have been around since the beginning, and that would be lilac and lavender. There was an ingredient in the color that was discontinued and will not be produced. Now that's going higher up the manufacturing ladder, where Prismacolor gets their pigments from. Apparently, they've discontinued using one of the ingredients. Prismacolor decided they could not continue to make a lilac and a lavender consistent. So they're removing the two of those colors and they're replacing them with amethyst and orchid. We need to talk about this because is it only going to affect those two colors? Curious minds. So let's take a look at their colors and what they were talking about as far as their consistency and not being able to continue to produce. Here I have two Beryl colors. The only pencils that were earlier than Beryl are Eagles, and the Eagle company was making regular pencils and a couple of colors. I believe these two colors came out with Beryl. So these are among the oldest Prismacolors. So here we have lilac. And I'm just going to give you a couple of layers. And this is Beryl. And here is lilac. And this is Beryl. I have a Sanford, but it's not opened, and I don't want to open it. It's still in its original form. But I do have the regular Prismacolor colors, and here we have Prismacolors, which is the latest variety of pencils. And this is the lavender. And here is lilac. Now, I hope you guys can get a look at this really up close. It seems that the lilac, this color, and this is lilac, okay? This is Prismacolor, and this is Prismacolor. Okay? Now, if you can notice that back in the day, Beryl and today's Prismacolor are not the same colors, yet they've kept the same name. So throughout history of these pencils, they have changed the hue in the past without getting rid of these colors. Now, the lilac seems to be a little bit more on the consistent side. You really, make sure I have the right one. There isn't much of a difference as far as the color goes. So I could basically, you could basically see that it's the same. And you can see over here that this and this is definitely not the same colors. I am suspecting that they're going back to this old color. Now, the orchid is an old Prismacolor that's been discontinued. I'm just going to say that. Now, whether or not they went back to the old orchid color is yet to be determined because not many people have orchid. I have it somewhere. You've been watching me, you know I have 10,000 pencils. Somewhere within those 10,000 pencils is my orchid, which I haven't been able to find yet, but I will. I'm still looking. Does this really matter if the name change and the excuse really was not much of a question because they have changed hues in the past? So it makes me curious about that. If you look, these two are basically the same color. Remember we talked about how hues are created, and they're created with whites and with grays. That's kind of interesting. What are these colors? Now, I see a lot of blue in it because violet is made with red and blue. I see them in my own mind's eyes a little bit bluer. I was a little bit surprised when I actually got out my color wheel, and this is why I always suggest to get this color wheel And I did find out that these colors are more on the red violet side. So you can look at, let me get over to the lighter one because that matches better. Okay, so this is the violet red and the red violet. And you could see that it is definitely a red violet color. So as opposed to a blue violet color, which would be over here. So it's a red violet, both of them. Now, I do believe that lilac has a little bit more blue in it, and that's what's unique on this color. Something in this has discontinued. Now, if you think about this, is this a unique color? Well, it certainly is to the Prismacolor line, but is it a unique color in the perspective of pencils in general? And I want to tell you, it is not. I've reported this before. Amazon Basics copied the colors from Prismacolor, almost color for color. So if we take an Amazon, and they come under the hydrangea pink, and we take a look at this, this is almost, not quite, but almost an insignificant amount different to the lavender. It's slightly more pink, which means it has a slight more amount of red in it. Nothing significant. It might have been, it could have been that they said, okay, we can't do exact, but we're going to do a match. As far as doing flowers, this and this, it wouldn't make a difference because you're not going to see such a huge difference, because if you're putting in shading and everything, your pencil color is going to change anyway. So this is an insignificant difference. This actually is in my own opinion, this is a prettier color than the Prismacolor, the Amazon Basic. But that's a matter of opinion. Something in this color has been discontinued for Prismacolor. At the upper level of where Prismacolor is getting their ingredients, won't it be affecting every pencil company that wants to get that shade? So it's making me a little bit curious that maybe this isn't the excuse or the reason, because anybody that puts out a color in this hue range, how does that really matter? There would be something that's creating this color. Now, this color and this color are the same colors. It's just the additives that make it lighter and darker. If they're stemming down the same line, what happens to grade lavender? Now, if we put the grade lavender in there, it too stems off the same line, that red-blue or that red-violet line of color. It too has the same pigment in it, but there's more white, there's more gray. We're going to learn a little bit about how to mix the colors when I do the ethereal colors and how to create this color. But it's the same. Wouldn't the grade lavender have an effect? Wouldn't they be having trouble with this color too? And also, now if we're going to be a real conspiracy theorist, here I have an old beryl violet. Doesn't that affect the other colors? Because it's the top of the line for their violet colors. The excuse that they can't match may be just a marketing thing, and we're never going to know the real reason behind this. But the fact of the matter is we are losing these two colors, and they are two unique colors in the Prismacolor 150 set. Now, should we all be going into a panic and start hoarding all the lilacs and lavenders? Lavender and lilac have been around since the beginning of time. I have pencils here that are 70 years old, and they're still in pristine condition. never been used. This is beryl. For all I know, this was made in the 1930s or the late 1930s. Was made in the 70s, this one. There are all those years of these two colors in the market now. In the used pencil market, you're going to be finding these two colors everywhere. First, they have to get rid of all the stock of pencils. Fortunately, now we're going to be able to tell what the old and the new are, because when you get a set of Prismacolor, are you going to get the amethyst orchid or are you going to get the lavender lilac? Don't be too disappointed if you get the lavender lilac, because you think that they're not being produced, and you can go out and get the orchid and amethyst stock. It's being provided to everybody in that way. Now, it's getting to be a little bit hard getting it, and I showed you. Thankfully, I was notified, and it was still on sale at Jackson's. At least the Blix near me does not have it yet. They have taken their lavender and their lilac off their website, but they have not replaced it yet with the amethyst, so they may not have even gotten it. And even Prismacolor said they're not rolling it out until this month. So don't go into a panic. What I did see is a lot of price gouging. If you go onto eBay and you go looking for these colors, I saw them up to $19 a pencil. Don't do it. Just don't. Because these pencils are going to be out there and readily available for a very long time before they would even be considered a mildly rare pencil. The market is just too saturated. What I am suspecting is they went back to this formula. And this is a much more ethereal color than this one. This is a much brighter, more flowery color. This color, which is the beryl lavender, is much more subdued. Like when you see the godly colors, the colors that are in the sky, or if you're doing one of the heavens, often find this color. Okay, we're going to create lilac. And what you're going to need is a couple of pencils. You're going to want a violet. It's important for you to put the layers down exactly like I'm telling you, because you can get different hues. Now, you don't have to. These colors will blend together and create lilac. But if you want, for whatever reason, the exact color match to the Prismacolor lilac, because you're never going to own another lilac pencil, this is how you lay it down. You're going to do, I would say, 2 light layers. You could do 3 light layers. It's not going to affect the color. Then you're going to take cloud blue, and you're going to blend up this color, the violet, with the cloud blue. Okay, now you can see there's quite a bit of change from the original when you add that light blue. Okay, so this is very important. You need this hue to create the lilac color. And you just work it until it's all blended. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it a little so we have a color grade going down. That's what you're going to need for now. Then you're going to take process red, and you're going to put a light layer of process red on the top of that. So you're working off the 2 other colors, the violet and the cloud blue. You're going to take a little bit of white, a layer of white, and just blend it up again with your cloud blue. And as you're going to see, as you are blending, lilac is formed. The same lilac, as if there's a little bit of red in between. And there you have it. It's the same colors. Cloud blue, processed red, violet, and white make lilac. Now, I don't understand why they can't take the pigments from these 4 colors and create their pencil. That's what's gotten me confused on this. Is it that difficult? Like they've got all this lab experience. Put it together. Get your acts together. You can create. It can be created. So that is why I think that this is not the real reason that they're doing it. Am I happy that they're doing it? Yeah, kind of, because we still have our color. We could still make our color. And now we are getting this ethereal color that is an added benefit. So I'm pretty happy about this change. Don't go out and hoard your pencils. It's not that necessary. You could still have your color and the other color too. And that is my blending lesson for the day. And I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.